The time is 12:01, and you're tuned into the Mid Morning Talk with me, Fazila Isaac, on Salam Media. Don't forget, we do have our social media platforms where you can engage with us on our WhatsApp line 0617660355, on Twitter at Salam Media, Facebook www.facebook.com/Salam Media, and you can catch all of our interviews live streaming www.salammedia.com. We are now joined by Ierfaan Cassiem of the Muslim Hands South Africa organization. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, Sister Fazila. How are you this morning?
I'm well, alhamdulillah. Hope you're the same. Jazakallah for taking the time
Alhamdulillah.
to join us today.
Alhamdulillah, and shukran so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to join you people on Salam Media.
So let's head right in. Give us a brief introduction of yourself and your role within the organization.
Yeah, I am the Chief Executive Officer of Muslim in South Africa. But I am an accountant by profession, really, and yeah, I've worked all my career in corporate. But about 3.5 months ago, I joined Muslim in South Africa, and I was actually a very good close friend of mine and a sister of mine who who suggested that I join Muslim Hands, and excuse me for being a little bit emotional, but this friend of mine passed away about a month ago,
Yeah.
and obviously the sadness is still there because she was the person who convinced me to give back to our community, to use Muslim Hands as the platform for where I can give back, and obviously she was supporting me. Um, Give back to people and improve the conditions and the lives of the most vulnerable and the most poor in our society. So that is basically a little bit about me. But as I said, I'm an accountant and I've worked most of my career in corporate, and I worked 8 years in Saudi Arabia. And when I returned from Saudi Arabia, this is where I landed at Muslim Views, South Africa.
Alhamdulillah. I guess, your friend bringing in you into an organization like this, it's something that's going to continue for you. Your Sawab Jariya comes from things like this, Inshallah, your friend gets that as well. I mean,
Amin, inshallah.
so what are the main objectives of Muslim Hands?
As I said to you in our introduction, for us, the objective is to be of aid for people who are suffering, wherever that may be, and whoever it may be. We are not looking at only Muslim people, or only black people, or only females. Whoever is in need and whoever is suffering, Muslim Hands will be responding, and we will be out there first of all to see where we can assist and remedy the situation. But ultimately, we want to make sure that people can be sustainable, self-sustainable over the longer period. And I just came out of a strategic meeting now because it's that time of the year where you discuss strategy. And we want to give people, we don't want to give them the fish. We want to give them the fishing rod where they can actually fish for themselves. And that is ultimately our objective and our vision for the longer term. But our mission at the moment is to, wherever aid is required, wherever in the world it is, not just back home in South Africa, because we're an international organization. Muslim Hands was actually formed in South Africa. Muslim Hands was started in 1996. But Muslim Hands International was started in 1993 in the UK, and it was in response to what was happening in the Balkans, in the Bosnian War at that time, because there was a dire need for aid in Bosnia at that time, and Muslim Hands as an organization was started out of that. So ever since, wherever there's been a need, and as recently as even current still, the floods happening in Pakistan, Muslim Hands is very, very much involved, and we were one of the first aid organizations on the ground when the rain started and when the flood started to become serious. Muslim Hands, in fact, was the first aid organization to be on the ground in Pakistan at that time. So wherever it is, no project is too big and no project is too small for us. We've been involved, and I remember I was interviewed on your radio or on your platform in on Women's Day, actually on the 9th of August. And I was challenged because Muslim Hands actually do a lot of things for gender equity. And we got involved just around that time during the month of August by getting involved with a lot of initiatives where we actually supported women, where we supported shelters for women, we looked at empowering women with small businesses, even helping them to set up like sewing machine classes. We donated, I remember we donated some sewing machines to a sister, and she went to get some training, and now she's giving training to people for sewing classes. So as I said, nothing is too small and nothing is too big for Muslim Hands. And we involved all over the world, alhamdulillah.
It seems like the impact that the organization is having is quite vast. One of the things I saw that was so profound on the site is working beyond the provision of immediate relief towards supporting communities over the long term and their dedication to tackling the root causes of poverty around the world. And I feel like the bringing the skills to these women, this is something that's actually beneficial because, like you said, one of the ladies who you taught is now teaching others. So it's a ripple effect, but a positive ripple effect. What are the projects is the organization involved in? What other activities do you engage in?
One of our, obviously in South Africa, I think the biggest issue that we are facing on a daily basis is people are hungry. And Muslim Hands started not in South Africa, it was actually started overseas in the UK, where we call it the open kitchen. So Muslim Hands South Africa, then on the 16th of October, which is International Food Day, 16th of October last year, Muslim Hands opened an open kitchen here in Cape Town. Initially, we only fed people on a Friday after Jummah. We gave people a meal, and we normally used to give about 300 to 400 people a meal after Jummah. But then the founder of Muslim Hands found out that we were only feeding people on a Friday, and he said to me, "Listen here, people must eat every day. Do you only eat once a week?" So, Alhamdulillah, we have now started the open kitchen, which is operating daily in Cape Town. And we want to expand it because as recently as a month ago, the 17th of September, yes, I was in Johannesburg. We were in Johannesburg, and we actually had a session with people who are volunteers for Muslim Hands in Johannesburg as well. And we asked them for the need. And obviously the need is very much greater even in Johannesburg than what it is here in Cape Town. So we're now looking at expanding this to Johannesburg, and then obviously to other centers in South Africa as well. Because we've had some criticism that most of our projects were focused on Cape Town. But Alhamdulillah, in winter, we had projects where we had winter blankets and warm clothing, which we distributed in Johannesburg. And we're also looking at adopting two orphanages in Lenasia, one for boys and one for girls. So that is some of the immediate projects that we are involved in on the ground in South Africa. But then obviously some of the bigger things that we do out throughout Africa in countries like Malawi, Mali, Niger, and then also in Bangladesh and in Sri Lanka and in Pakistan, we install water wells. In a lot of the villages, people do not have access to clean water, to drinking water. So what Muslim Hands does is we install water wells. There's different types of wells. There's community wells. where a well is installed for entire community to have access to water. So these are some of the projects we do. We also build masjids all over Africa, as well as in the countries that I mentioned before, Bangladesh and in Sri Lanka and in Pakistan, where we're involved in building masjids and orphanages. We've got the Muslim Hand School of Excellence. These schools are only for orphans, either they've lost one parent or both their parents, and Muslim Hand cover the entire education of these orphans, which includes obviously the accommodation, the meals, as well as the schooling. So that is some of our bigger projects that we're currently running all over the world. In South Africa, as I said, we're now looking at the two orphanages in Lenasia, where we want to then introduce them as the first Muslim Hand School of Excellence in South Africa.
Oh, wow, that is brilliant. And how soon will that be taking place?
Inshallah, currently those kids are at schools throughout, not even in Lenasia, they're not able to get into school. So they are going to school in Soweto, actually. So now they must finish the school year up until December. Inshallah, we hope to be in place by the next school year in 2023, where we will then have schooling at those orphanages. And like I said, in Lenasia, they've got classrooms there already, and we will obviously get involved in upgrading this and improving the facility. The Department of Education in Gauteng provides the teachers, and Muslim Hands will be fully involved in running those schools. So that is a project that we're currently working on with those orphanages in Johannesburg. And inshallah, if everything works out successfully, then we can maybe look at some other orphanages throughout South Africa as well. But those are the two ones. And as you said, you asked, what is the timeline? Inshallah, we are confident that we can do it by the start of the next academic year in 2023.
Amen. So we're just going to take a quick short ad break. When we come back, I'd like for us to touch on, what does the organization require, in order for it to reach its full potential? Obviously all of these organizations, we do need assistance from people out there, So I'd like to just touch on that once we come back. We're just going to take a quick break.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
Thousands of Syrian, Palestinian refugees and Lebanese children do not have access to education. Amman means safety and is a school that provides formal education from kindergarten to grade 9. Africa Muslims Agency aims to provide 650 children with education that will change the trajectory of their lives and their families' lives. Fulfill your intention by fulfilling their dreams. Donate 16,000 Rand per child or any amount. Go to africamuslimsagency.co.za or call us on 011 834 8685. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Give charity without delay, for it stands in the way of calamities. For child-headed households in Bloemendal in the Eastern Cape, the daily diet consists of white bread and a carton of cheap juice or sugar water, known locally as the poppy water diet. Make a difference to that one child or family. The Al-Fida Foundation has over the past 13 years worked on the ground and gathered the largest database in the Eastern Cape region of Muslim Zakah recipients. Phone our offices at 041 484 1288 or visit our website at www.alfida.co.za. The Al-Fida Foundation, your social investment partner in the Eastern Cape.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Devastating floods in Pakistan have washed away villages, claimed the lives of more than 1,000 people, damaged nearly 1 million homes, and left over 33 million people in desperate need of help. As the catastrophe unfolds, Islamic Relief is on the ground, reaching people with life-saving aid. Our team are working tirelessly to deliver food and shelter. Your support is urgently needed now to help save more lives. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
The time is 12:17 and you're tuned into the mid-morning talk with me, Fazila Isaac, on Salam Media. Joining us, we have Brother Ierfaan Cassiem, who is part of the Muslim Hands South Africa organization. Brother Ierfaan, we were speaking on, what it is that the foundation will require in order for it to reach its full potential. What are some of the things that the organization would need?
Yeah, Sister Fazila, obviously we work with public funds, with donor funding. So we are very much reliant because we do not sell anything. We do not charge people for anything. So we're fully reliant on donor funding. And obviously people can give their zakat, the sadaqah, lillah. They can donate it to Muslim hands, and we will use it in a responsible way because we are obviously guided by learned scholars who are part of the Muslim Hands organization. And if anybody wants to donate to any of our campaigns, they're welcome to go onto our website, which is www.muslimhands.org.za. That is muslimhands.org.za, where they can click on any one of our various appeals that we have, whether they want to build a well, whether they want to sponsor an orphan, whether they want to build a masjid anywhere in one of the countries where we actually do build these masjids, or if they want to sponsor our open kitchen, which I mentioned earlier on. We just came out of winter in South Africa, where it was incredibly tough and people had to eat. There were many hungry people that we fed during the winter period. So if people want to donate, they can go onto our website, click on any one of those appeals and donate funds, whether it is, like I said, for zakat, fitra, or lillah, or sadaqah, fitra, obviously during the month of Ramadan. And for example, now we just, Muharram, we came out of Muharram where people gave a lot of their zakat. And then I think for us as South Africans, maybe during the year, during Ramadan, during the busy periods, we cash is a little bit tight. But I think we've got a tradition in South Africa where over December, most of us get Christmas bonuses from or year-end bonuses from our employers. And I think this is the perfect opportunity where people can then use it to pay their zakat. And we at Muslim Hands will make sure that the zakat is used properly. And people can also then donate it to a certain appeal, as I said on our website. But also we've got our standard bank account. If I may give it over here to you now, it is a standard bank account in the name of Muslim Hands. The branch code is 031110, and our account number is 071 621 881. 071 621 881. So yeah, anybody who wants to donate, as I said earlier, we are fully reliant on donor funds. We do not get any support from government or from any corporates. It's entirely our donors. And obviously our donors are our stakeholders, and we report back to donors about everything that we do with the money that they donate. So fully transparent and peace of mind that we give to people once they donate to Muslim Hands.
And what are some of the skills that you found to be lacking, in South Africa that Muslim Hands has brought forth and assisted, people in order for them to become either employable or self-sustained? What are some of these skills that have been taught by Muslim Hands?
You talk about, and something which I am quite passionate about, obviously, is education. Muslim hands, yes. Just to digress slightly, we also get a lot of requests from people for bursaries, and Muslim hands do make funds available for people for bursaries. But as I said, skills. We've had people, as I said, sewing machines. We've given, again, as I said in the introduction, where people wanted to do sewing classes, and then we sent them, but we also gave them the sewing machines. So we gave one lady, as I said earlier on, 6 sewing machines after she's completed the classes. Then she became accredited herself to be a trainer, and now she can also issue certificates to people who want to do sewing courses. Then there's especially here in Cape Town, where there's a lot of smaller artisans. We've also been able to get people to train skills in the building industry and those kind of industries. But something which we are looking at, which we obviously are passionate about and we want to do, is farming. I think there's not many people from our communities who are into farming, and especially when it comes to because we're getting involved with people to produce food gardens. That is the small scale where people then can feed themselves and then feed a community, and then at the end, then they can even become farmers. So that is something which we are looking at, working with certain individuals who's already introduced and this kind of project successfully in certain areas here in the Western Cape. So that is a project which we will get involved in quite. And then also another thing that we spoke about, but we haven't done any strides towards it yet, is, during Korban season, when there's sheep, so we're looking at maybe getting people to raise sheep, to farm with it a little bit on a small scale. So during the time when the Korban comes, the sheep is available at affordable prices to people. So that is some of the things that skills that we're looking at. Agriculture, that is the word that I was looking for. So yes, that is something which we are passionate about here at Muslim Hands, which we want to get involved in. And we believe that will do many things. It will help with alleviating hunger. It will create opportunity for people to learn a new skill. It will create employment opportunities. And obviously, it will also create an opportunity for people to own their own businesses.
I love the fact that you guys are concentrating so much on agriculture, moving forward, because it has been, there's so much information out there when it comes to things like farming. I mean, if you're going to go out there, you start your own garden, you start your own poultry farming, you start your own cattle farming, there's always income to be made from there. And you're not always sitting and waiting for someone to give you something. I think it's a little bit of an issue that we see, especially in our country. We saw it a lot with the 350 that came out. The moment they start, some of our South Africans stopped getting it, it became rioting. People were getting quite angry. So I love the fact that you're going to teach somebody how
Yeah,
to
just
fish, as
to,
opposed to just giving it to them.
just something which came to mind now is, obviously, there's a school here in Cape Town, not far from us. It's called Rosewood Primary. They approached us because they've got 600 learners, and Rosewood Primary is a free school where people don't pay, a no fee school. And obviously, the people who cannot afford to pay is the poorest of the poor people. And these kids often come to school without any meal. And although the school did have a soup kitchen, and they provide soup on a daily basis, but they could only feed 120 kids, and they've got 600 learners. So they approached us and we got involved. So that is where we will also do a food garden at that school. And we will also get the kids involved to actually grow the food. So immediately it will teach them a skill even at primary school, because this is a primary school. So kids at the age of 7 to 11 or 12 years old will also now get that kind of skill, and it might even ignite a passion in them to become farmers. Because, like I said, in our community, there are not many people who are into farming. So that is why for us, this agriculture is something which we are very excited about, actually.
And how does one volunteer to work with Muslim hands? Someone wants to give up their time. I mean, not everybody, has financial means to donate, but I'm sure they can donate their time. Are they able to do that as well? And how can they do that?
Yes, let me tell you actually a very interesting story about volunteers. Yes, we've got a website, as I said, www.muslimhands.org.za. People can go on there. There's a link where they can then register to become volunteers, and we will get in touch with them. As I said, about a month ago, I was in Johannesburg, and we met with our volunteers who registered on our website in Johannesburg. And there was one lady that actually came at the end. We were already finished. We already finished our program, but she came quite late. And I said to her, she was lucky that I was still there and I was making me a cup of tea. So she came to speak to me, and I asked her, listen, why did you become a volunteer? And she said to me that she wanted to work with HIV, AIDS positive kids or elderly people. And she wanted to go visit the homes where these HIV positive people are living. And I asked her, so why Muslim hands? She said, yes, she couldn't do it as an individual. You must be part of an organization where you can actually then visit these hospitals. So, okay, homes where these people live in. And I asked her, why were you so interested? And she said to me, because he's HIV positive. And I mean, alhamdulillah, I built up such a fantastic relationship with this lady that day, and there was a brilliant rapport. And it showed to me that the role that we play, this lady wanted to give back, but she couldn't do it as an individual. So she is doing it through Muslim Hands as a volunteer. And coming out of that, we actually decided, we were so inspired by her that we decided here in Cape Town, we visited 3 hospitals where there's people who never get visitors. They are in hospital, but they never get visitors. So some of our staff, as well as our volunteers, went around to Mallomed Hospital here in Gatesville, and then Booth Memorial, which is in Oranjezig in Cape Town, and then Karl Bremer Hospital, which is in Bellville, which is in the northern suburbs. So people went and they went to visit people who never get visitors, and they took a little gift, a fruit basket or some cleaning hamper with them to visit these people. And that is the kind of things that the volunteers also get involved in. So and the people were so grateful to receive visitors that they never get before. So if people want to become volunteers, go onto our website, register, and we will be in touch with them, and we can even get ideas from them on how we can be of service to community.
SubhanAllah, such a great impact the organization is having, not only on, individuals, but on the country as a whole.
Yes.
This is something that's not just, teaching somebody, like you said, all of these skills and making themselves sustainable. It's also something that's going to be helping the economy as well, because ultimately, if everybody is bringing in, it comes. I don't think people think of it in that way. When they see organizations doing the work, they don't see as the bigger effect that it has, on the country itself. The economy as well gets affected by things like this, organizations that are doing this type of work. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, you speak about the country, as a government. The government has got strategic objectives, and when there's elections, they pledge to people that they will provide them with education, with healthcare, and with shelter. Muslim Hands provide all of that without support from government. We have clinics that we have started all over the world. Obviously, in South Africa, we are a little bit late in there, but we now, inshallah, we will be moving in that direction. We have the schooling projects for the orphans, And we provide water for people in villages throughout Africa as well as in Asia. So I think we don't want to compete with government, but I think government can come learn something from us on how to implement some of these projects.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. For I mean, government has all of the resources, yet they
Yeah,
don't even do half of the work that some of the organizations are doing out there.
yes.
So you're absolutely correct in saying that they absolutely should come and learn a few things
If,
from you guys.
if there's any government official watching, they can call us, and we will gladly point them in the right direction.
Alhamdulillah. It was really, really a pleasure speaking to you. Jazakallah so much for taking the time, and also to you and your team. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you khair continuously and afia for
Ameen.
all of the work that the organization is doing, inshallah. Jazakallah so much for your time.
Yeah,
Have a great day.
Jazakallah to you for giving us the opportunity, and always a
Alhamdulillah.
pleasure to speak to Salam Media. Assalamu
No
alaikum.
worries. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was Brother Ierfaan Cassiem from the Muslim Hands organization in South Africa, doing absolutely brilliant work. We take it for granted what these organizations are doing, but it's not just the handouts that are coming through. They are not just giving packages, etc. They are making sure that we build a stronger nation. They are building stronger people. They are building confident people, because if you are able to bring in an income, if you are able to do things on your own, it makes you feel so much better. And by teaching people the skills that they have been teaching, alhamdulillah, this is what they are creating: confident people who are making a difference in the country, alhamdulillah. So if you'd like to donate, they have given their account number: Standard Bank 0716218881. If you'd like to volunteer, or you'd like to make contact with the organization, go onto their website. The website is quite interactive: www.muslimhands.org.za, or you can call their offices: 021 633 6413. You can make contact with the organization. If you don't have funds to volunteer to use up, then you can volunteer your time as well. But all of the bigger companies out there, private people, make your donations. You can see that it is going to good use, right? They are accountable for every cent that is being used. So inshallah, make your donations to these organizations. The time has hit 12:34. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we're going to speak to Sister Sadia Ranzeli. She's going to speak to us about the upcoming Duduza Muslim Youth Picnic that is happening this weekend. Stay tuned.